Hello, gamers. Welcome back to another episode of whatever the shit I do is. Here we have some Dwarf Fortress. Might be a little different than, I guess, the, Morrowind. It's more akin to Magic, I guess, the Gathering. Top-down, slow gameplay. Which I don't know if I'm very slow in Magic. Anyways, Dwarf Fortress is a sim game. You just colony manage, like RimWorld, but cooler. I'm just taking a look at the world here because I like the story aspects of Dwarf Fortress a lot. And before I made my fortress, I wanted to get a lay of the land. I wanted to get a lay of where I was going to start, what kingdom I was going to be a part of. I went with I believe it's the Road of Gloves, which is a dwarvish settlement, kind of sitting in that center continent, that green continent in the middle, with that island to the next of it, kind of that inland sea. That's all swampland, or forest, so I eventually do decide to settle down and occupy a swampland from the civilization, the Gloves of Roads, or the Road of Gloves, maybe? I don't remember. It's on the screen if you want to pause and look at it. Text is too small for me. Anyways, I'm just taking a look at the different dwarven civilizations that are around here, trying to get a feel for the geography. I'm noticing that it's swamp. I haven't yet noticed the big old goblin settlements to the south, which eventually I will, and I will, I'll set my gaze upon them as my future enemies. When I start off a fortress, I'm always trying to go somewhere close to other civilizations for trade. I'm not that good of a player, so I do rely on trade who are there. And, I guess I could do without the elves. I don't think I do have any elves nearby to me, so they won't get on my back about all the trees I eventually cut down. But, I'm gonna speed this up some more, or make a cut, because I'm pretty much just looking at the map and, getting a lay of the swampland and the swamp water around me before I make my final decision. Here, I'm really starting to key in on where I want to start. Yeah, I'm just gonna cut to the prepare carefully though. I start exactly where I'm looking at, and we'll continue from there. Alrighty. So the goal of my prepare carefully is to just not get fucked in the early game. So I always take woodcutters, obviously. I always take miners. I can't remember. I think I picked up this trick from Krug Smash, or it might have been another YouTuber who went by Marcus Aurelius, who I also watched a long time ago make Dwarf Fortress content. But I always make my woodcutters my first two militant people, since they're just going to be using the axes and starting fights anyways. I do get to some deliberation on what else to bring. Like I said, I'm not the greatest player, so I do kind of switch around, trying to figure out what I want. But ultimately, I decide on two farmers who will duel as my cook and my drink maker, my brewer. I also decide on I arrange my miners to be my stonecutter, my carpenter, and I think I do a craft dwarf, because those are always good to have. I may have also done mechanics, because I like to have the bars and gates for the flow, for the aesthetic of it all. Here I get distracted just real quick, going through some role play, some immersion. I do some thinking about what the symbol and the name and the group I want to be called. Eventually, I go with the uncommon door, because we're the Road of Gloves, right? So it's like a traveling, and you come upon a door, and we're at the end of the road. We are the uncommon door. That's what the fortress is called. Can't remember what the group name is called, but I know that the symbol I end up making is a picture of a mountain and trees and waves and a single door. And the door is surrounded by waves, symbolize, the uncommon door thrusting up out of the salt marsh. Just persisting, man. Just being there uncommonly. Um, yeah, I can't remember what I called the group name. What were we? The learned, the learned something. The learned something. Anyways, let's get to the animals I bring. As far as my animals and my equipment, I don't do too much different regarding my equipment. I know pretty sure I bring an extra pickaxe. Don't I? I bring about 6 barrels. I always bring coke or coal, just so I have that little bit ready for me. I'm pretty sure I take a few extra drinks. And as far as my animals are concerned, I'll just really quickly cut to that. So as far as my animals are concerned, the only thing I end up bringing are some chickens for egg production. That's pretty much all I have in mind, and food. I take some cavies because I love having cavies, and I don't care what anybody says. And they're good watchdogs and good targets for attackers to swarm instead of my dwarves when dwarves are caught outside during a siege. But yeah, that is the extent of my prepare carefully, and that'll be the end of this episode.